Hey, Tim, nice dancing, startup style. Let's welcome tonight's hosts, MIT 100K Pitch Contest Director, Katja Schurtenberger, and judging lead, Heather Roth.
Superheroes from all over the world have assembled here at MIT tonight. Let's hear some noise to welcome everybody.
Welcome to the 2012 MIT 100K Pitch Contest Finale. We can feel the mighty force of so many MIT superheroes in the room tonight. Each one of you brings special powers that enable us to change the world and make the impact we want to.
As you know, we have 60 semi-finalist teams here tonight, and 12 of them will be announced to pitch in tonight's finale.
Contestants have entered across 6 tracks and have been through intensive coaching with 14 coaches across 2 evenings of coaching sessions.
And the best pitcher will win $5,000 for just a 60 seconds pitch.
But before we explain the rest of the rules and listen to the pitches from our contestants, we would like to introduce our keynote, Rahim Fazal. Rahim is a startup entrepreneur and an advisor who's built 3 technology companies, 2 of which he sold by the time he was 30 and another which he took public. Most recently, Rahim was the founder and CEO of Involver, an enterprise social media marketing platform used by more than 1 million companies and many Fortune 500 brands. Involver was acquired by Oracle, where Rahim now serves as an executive responsible for product strategy in the social cloud. While still in high school, Rahim co-founded a web hosting company and negotiated its sale for $1.5 million while taking his senior year final exams. Rahim was honored at the White House with an Impact 100 Award by Startup America and the Kauffman Foundation. He's been named one of the top 30 entrepreneurs under 30 in America by Inc. magazine and one of the top 25 digital thought leaders by iMedia. So let's welcome Rahim on stage.
All right, thank you guys. So first of all, thanks to Adam, Alice, Katja, Heather. Thank you guys for just putting this incredible event on. Before we get started, I thought it would be good to figure out, and I think I already know the answer to this, but how many students in the room? Okay, how many students in the room know that they want to be an entrepreneur when they graduate or are already an entrepreneur right now? So a good number of you. And how many VCs in the room? Okay, keep an eye on these guys here in the bottom. All right, so the big event today are the pitches, and we're pretty excited to see them. I thought I'd share with you a couple of things that I've learned since graduating. The 6 things I felt I wish I knew before I graduated from B school and before I started my company. So it is true, I started my first in high school before I graduated, which was a crazy experience. The hardest thing for me was not like raising capital or figuring out what the idea was, finding a co-founder. Really the hardest thing to do at that age, especially for Asian kids in the room, know that trying to start a company while you're graduating from high school and keeping it from your parents is probably the most important thing that you can do to ensure survival. I had to do everything that it took for a good year and a half to keep the company away from my parents, and the more it grew, the harder it became. I remember coming home one day and my parents sitting in the living room looking at each other and telling me that they got a call from the principal and they had found out that I'd missed 64 classes that year. And them looking at me and saying that the principal said I was not only missing a lot of class, but I was also asking to leave class sometimes once or twice a class. And I was walking around school with a cell phone and a pager back then, the days we used to have pagers. And my dad being absolutely sure that I was dealing drugs. And having a very difficult decision to make at that point, because I could admit to them that I was running a company, which would mean I would have a choice between the belt or the slippers, or coming up with some crazy lie and having the business survive another day. And so because they were so worried about me getting out of class and putting my hand up and having to go to the bathroom so many times, I ended up just telling them that I thought I had a bladder infection. And it actually worked quite well. They never asked another question. And so I guess the days of being an entrepreneur and doing what it takes to achieve your dreams started early for me. When I got into business school in 2004, graduated in 2006, and I moved down to the Valley. At the time, all of my friends were getting jobs in consulting and banking, and the fact that I didn't want to get a job in consulting or banking made me sort of like the not cool kid in school. And it was so hard, it was so crazy that even though I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, that was the only reason I got into business school, I tried really, really hard and got interviews at McKinsey and Bain just so people saw me going to interviews, so they thought that I could actually get them, even though there was no way I would actually take a job, even if I got it. The things that I learned, and those are the things that I wanted to share with you over the last, I guess it's been about 6 years now, are as follows. So, actually, before I jump in, I'll tell you a little bit about the company, because I think that'll be helpful. So in 2007, my co-founder and I, we started a company called Involver, and the whole idea at the time was really to make ads suck less online. We spent a lot of time on MySpace and Facebook, and if you guys remember the early days when you would just get banner pop-ups over and over again, when you were just trying to figure out, what your friends were doing or post some photos or whatever, we felt that we could do a better job of that. And so the 7 folks that you see here, the superhuman 7, we started Involver together. So my co-founder and I recruited 4 or 5 other guys, and we started a company that would make ads suck less on MySpace and Facebook. And the way that we would do it was take things that we saw were already happening naturally on Facebook, like sharing videos, and helping brands create campaigns around those interactions. So we went from 7 people, these 7, to 70 in about 2.5 years, which created crazy problems for me, including having the guy, you see the guy with the beard there in the middle? He had not even graduated college, but he was our VP of marketing, who used to run around the office with a blanket tied around his waist, almost like a tunic. For what reason, I have absolutely no idea, but he thought it was really funny. And it wasn't until later that I asked him why the hell he did that, and he said, because we never turned the heat up in the office. Because, you got to save money everywhere you can, right? So went from 7 to 70 people. We started with just selling the product to anybody who would take it. In fact, what's really cool is that our first actual customer was a DJ in Boston on, I think it was like Jammin' 94.5. Yes, DJ Pup Dog. I don't know if anybody listens to that guy, yeah? So he didn't pay us, but unfortunately. But he actually was the first person who used and believed in what we were doing, and talked about it on air, and they had like a summer jam concert that happened, and he promoted it there, and it was a thing that helped us get out of the weeds and into the real world. It was crazy. And then this summer, Larry Ellison, the CEO of Oracle, bought a couple of things, including this, an island in Hawaii, and Involver. And it was really cool. One of the coolest highlights of my career happened a couple of weeks ago. So Oracle has this huge conference They have 100,000 people who attend in San Francisco, and Larry Ellison in his keynote talked about how Involver and two of the other acquisitions that they did this year are going to be the future of Oracle's social cloud. So very, very big moment for us, and a long ways from coming to a place where we couldn't even afford to put the electricity on in the office to now being in Redwood Shores in California. So what did I learn, and what were the things that I wish people had told me? First of all, your idea sucks. You may not want to hear it, you may not like to hear it, but your idea sucks. It doesn't suck entirely, though. It just is. Let's see if we can get to the next slide here. Just know that it will change 1,000 times. When we started Involver, we were so focused. Hold on. When slide 2 forward. Let's see if we can get this to work out right. So when we started Involver, we were so focused on apparently I can't do this right. You guys want to do it? Yes? Hold on, let's just see if this works. Yes? Okay, so I guess it's probably slower here on this thing. So when we started the company, we were so focused on the idea of bringing video inside of Facebook that anybody who came to us and said that, any customer who said that just wouldn't work or they wouldn't pay for it, we just said that they weren't our target audience and they just didn't get it. They weren't visionary enough. I can't remember how many customer meetings that we went to where people said they wouldn't pay us a single dime, and we would walk out of there saying those guys are retarded. Reality, right? And it eventually became clear to us by, just by process of talking to enough customers, what it would take to really sort of adjust the idea and make it work. And that process took 2 years. And the thing that I take out of that is that as entrepreneurs, we have to be really, really focused on our idea and our bigger picture. But the key thing is to focus on the problem, right? Keep focused on the problem, but just know that the answer, the solution is going to change. And feel comfortable with that. Feel comfortable with it, and feel comfortable with people telling you that they don't understand what you're doing or that your idea sucks. Okay, so you guys saw this already. Choose your co-founder like you'd choose your wife or your husband. So the reality is that it's probably easier to get out of a marriage than it is to get out of a business partnership. Yes? Okay. So talk to this guy in the front if anybody has any questions about that, because we have a subject matter expert up here. But the reality is that getting into a partnership, a business partnership, is a very, very close connection. And the reason why a lot of businesses fail is because they don't make that decision right. So the things that I think are really important that you guys should think about are making sure that you know yourself first, and you can answer the question, what is it that you do uniquely better than anybody else? And what is it that you do uniquely worse than anybody else? And then find somebody who can do all of those things and fill your gaps. And I'd say that the other big thing is to find out what are the real roles and responsibilities, and how are you going to divide those things up? Because you can't wait 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year down the road before you figure out that you're the business guy and you're the technical guy. One guy has to deliver, one guy has to sell, and your partner the whole time is thinking that he's just creating a pretty website, right? And then the other big thing, and I think I learned this the difficult way, is that you should figure out what happens when you guys disagree. So, by the way, this is also a good thing personally. If you guys are dating anybody right now, you should ask them, what happens when we disagree on something? Because you really do not want to find out what happens a year down the road if you haven't discussed it. Trust, you don't want to do that. All right, so number 3 is the first 10 hires are the most important hires. The first 10 are the ones that set the tone and set the culture. I think if you ask a lot of entrepreneurs who have gone the distance and they've got not 10, but 50, 100,000, 10,000 employees, they'll tell you that the hires that made the difference, that set the tone, were the first 10 that they made. I made some mistakes where I hired people, and I remember there's one sales leader that I hired. He was maybe not my first 10, but maybe first 15 or so. that absolutely killed me because totally brought in the wrong culture and changed the tone of the business. I mean, we were a bunch of guys who were really focused, very passionate about a particular problem, and brought somebody else in who was just really focused on revenue, which is obviously the reason why I hired him, because he needed to bring in sales. But so singularly focused on revenue that nothing else made a difference. And that's something I'll never, ever, ever do again. So the best product does not win. It's hard saying this at MIT, right? The best product does not win. Anybody agree with me on this? Anybody here? By show of applause. Okay, thank you so much. It's going to make this so much easier. So we were 7 guys who all would identify ourselves as product guys, and all people who had built apps, had built different consumer products before, and we felt that we could do a better job than any of our competitors by building a better product. And the reality is that happens sometimes, but more often than not, that's not the case. More often than not, the things that makes the difference is execution. And people talk about execution all the time. You gotta execute, you gotta execute. But what does it mean? I'll tell you personally, the biggest learning I got was that execution means distribution. Execution means customer acquisition. And most importantly, execution means making dollars, all right? I mean, if you're not making money, it doesn't matter how great your product is. And I cannot tell you how many people have made the mistake of relying on the features of their product and not worried about actually selling it. Number 5, do not worry about an exit. Do not worry about an exit. I'm not going to ask you guys how many of you want to be entrepreneurs just so you can exit, because, I mean, the right answer, because we already identified the investors in the room, the right answer is that that's always the case, but sort of the more complete answer is that you're building a company to solve a particular set of problems, and you're trying to build lasting value, right? What I learned is that if you try to build lasting value, and more specifically, if you try to build a company to profitability, the exit will take care of itself. The exit will really take care of itself. You don't have to sell the company. In fact, there was a great quote that I heard recently, which was that, you know, great companies are bought, not sold. And even in the case of Involver, we were lucky that even though early on, you know, I focused on partnerships and trying to do biz dev and trying to align ourselves with the right companies, when it came time for the market to make a decision that it was time for consolidation, all 5 of the companies in the space got acquired within about 6 months. And 3 companies got acquired in a matter of about 3.5 weeks. So when someone's ready to buy, they will tell you they are ready to buy. And number 6 is everyone will hate you. So if you're not used to people hating you, get used to it, because everyone will hate you. Being a CEO and a founder is a very, very difficult job. You are responsible for everything, but you have control over very little. It's the truth. You are responsible for everything, but you have control over very little. In fact, it's crazy because it's not until the company got acquired by Oracle that I found out that, like, what was really going on at the front lines of the company. People wouldn't even tell me things. I would take them out, buy them a couple of drinks, you know. I'd ask them what's going on in engineering, why did we miss this deadline, what happened with this sprint? Oh no, everything is great. Really? Like, how's the management team doing? You know, how do you think leadership is? How's the process? Oh, everything is absolutely great. And then you sell the company and everyone's like, holy shit, things are up, man. People will never tell you what's going on. That's the difficult part about being a CEO. And there's a great blog post by one of the partners of Andreessen Horowitz, Ben Horowitz, who talks about how it's such a struggle to be a CEO. It's such a struggle to be a CEO, and there's no way to really learn to be a CEO until you actually are one. And the best thing that you can do is just be comfortable with hate, because that's the only reality in entrepreneurship. Okay. This is the last one, okay? One day, all of your classmates will be calling you for a job. This is the big payoff. So going back to what I started, and then I'll finish, is that all I wanted to do all of my life was to move down to the valley and start a company. And when I was in business school, everyone pushed me to get into consulting or into iBanking. Anybody here being pushed into consulting or iBanking here? Please, no hands. Please, okay. I saw a few people look at me very awkwardly. Listen, we have a therapy group here. I run it virtually over Skype. It's every third Tuesday. For some other people, we need to have more of a compressed schedule. I'm happy to do it every week if you would like. Please find me on Twitter. You will see my Twitter handle and my website. Call me if you want. But remember this, that some of the world's greatest problems are solved by entrepreneurs. And you guys are extremely lucky to be here and to be in a community where only 2 people looked at me very awkwardly because they wanted to get into iBanking or consulting. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rahim, for your inspiring words. Thank you especially for telling the truth, because no one said becoming a superhero was easy, right? Though, contestants, just for tonight, please forget for 60 seconds that your idea sucks. Because if you don't believe in it, why should we? Now we would also like to introduce our wonderful judges. When you hear your name, please stand up and give the audience a wave. We have, first of all, obviously, our keynote speaker, Rahim Fazal. Already, everyone knows you.
He's texting. Next, we have Rick Fulop from Northbridge.
James Geschweiler from Common Angels.
Stephen Saunders from Sunstein, Kahn, Murphy, and Timbers.
Matt Wise from IDEO.
And Joe Chung from Red Star Ventures. Now, let's get to the competition, shall we? As you know, we have students from all of the MIT community pitching their ideas to you tonight. Teams will be competing across 6 tracks, each represented by an amazing superhero. Represented by Batman, we have products and services. Represented by Iron Man, we have energy. Represented by Spider-Man, we have web IT. Represented by the Hulk, we have life sciences. Represented by Superman and sponsored by the Siegel Family Foundation, we have emerging markets. And finally, represented by the Flash, we have the mobile track.
So, each team's pitch will be 60 seconds sharp, with 30 seconds of questions and answers from the judges. After each of the 60 and 30 seconds, we ask the audience to please applaud. Be your superheroes tonight, because we want to keep everyone to the timeline. No props or presentations are allowed for contestants.
Which means, teams, holster your superhero powers, because your pitch is just your voice.
Also, see that hashtag up there, pitch12? All you tweeters and Facebookers, please use it liberally.
Whatever that means. So, there are 60 semifinalists sitting in this room. They're all here because they're hoping to pitch tonight, but only 12 will. They don't know who they are, but they'll find out right before they come up on stage. In 3 rounds, 12 teams will pitch as they compete for the audience choice, which is a $2,000 prize, and the $5,000 grand prize. Audience will vote for their favorite using their mobile phones on Poll Everywhere. When the votes are in, we will announce the top audience favorite for that round. When the judges return, after deliberating, they will announce 2 runners-up for the $1,000 and $2,000 prizes, and the grand prize winner of $5,000. Good luck and happy voting.
Now, in order to determine the audience choice winner, we will have the SMS-based poll using Poll Everywhere, like we just heard. So, to test it, let's take an actual audience poll, and we want you to determine who is your favorite superhero or heroine. Please text the number corresponding to your favorite of the listed superheroes to 22333. The results will show up on live screen. Oh, come on.
Organizational failure. I'll have you know this is basically the only time in an MIT event I will condone the use of cell phones, but please pull them out now.
Obviously, we will come after you if you don't vote for us.
Gentlemen,
Thanks for your texts. Wait, who is this guy?
did you see this? 25%, 15%.
Well, I don't know if they...
Guys, hanging chads, is that what's going on here? No love.
Wrong number?
Shall we continue?
I think it's fine. At least the order among the two of us is
I'm
perfect.
feeling no love in this room. No love whatsoever.
Raheem said we will be feeling hate.
Hey
All
now.
right. So, we want to thank our platinum sponsors now. Brown Rudnick is an international law firm with a diverse set of practices, including intellectual property, venture capital, life sciences and biotech, clean tech and energy, emerging technologies, and much more. Brown and Rudnick partners have served as mentors, judges, and platinum sponsors for several years. It is the proud law firm of many 100K companies.
Morse, Barnes, Brown, and Pendleton, PC, focuses exclusively on the core legal services that businesses need to succeed. That's a tough sentence. It helps businesses of all sizes, from startups to Fortune 1000 companies. In these service areas, IP, licensing, corporate, employment, and taxation. It ranks in the top 15 firms in VC financing on the East Coast.
Now for the Siegel Family Foundation, it supports innovative people and ideas focusing on development solutions in rural sub-Saharan Africa. Thank you.
The Catherine B. Reynolds Foundation's goal is to ignite imagination, to build character, to teach young people the value of education and the power of the individual, and to inspire them to aim high and reach for greatness.
Okay, now it's time to talk about our first two superheroes. We have Batman representing the products and services track.
No one says products and services quite like Batman. He has more tools, vehicles, gizmos than the iPhone has apps. Which is a good thing since he really doesn't have any superpowers to speak of.
Well, he is super rich.
I don't think that counts.
Well, in addition to being super rich, he's also the world's greatest detective. If there's a problem, he'll just figure out a solution. And unlike Superman, where is he? Ah, he fled. All right, unlike Superman, he won't do it with laser eyes or super strength, just some good old-fashioned scientific and engineering genius, like at MIT.
Representing energy is Iron Man.
In the movie Iron Man, Tony Stark powers his suit using the clean energy electromagnet-based arc reactor.
While the pocket-sized arc reactor, which can generate 3,000 megawatts, enough energy to power 3 million homes, is science fiction, we have some real heroes here trying to tackle how to provide faster, cleaner, and more efficient energy solutions. In fact, they do share a long history. Let's have a look at friendly conversation between these two awesome superheroes.
This is your in-flight meal. People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible.
I don't want to go home. At all.
Have you told anyone I'm coming back?
Let's cancel my birthday party and if we're in Europe, let's go to Venice, Cipriani. I'm just saying to recharge our batteries and figure it out.
Well, it's a good thing I left everything to you then.
So that's awkward. Now, it's time to hear the first pitches. We'll start with the products and services and the energy tracks. Oh. We were going to show you our semifinalists. Okay. Products and services semifinalists, you do not all get to pitch, unfortunately. But round of applause for those who did make the semifinals.
Please stand up if you're in the audience.
And the energy semifinals.
So when and if you hear your name called, please come down to the front and wait patiently for your turn.
Please welcome the MIT 100K Pitch Contest finalists for the products and services and energy tracks.
Winston Larson, aluminum gallium reactor.
Joshua Adler, Moses
Joshua.
Membranes. Chris Bolin, Chill Baby. Yu Lee, Group Shape.
Joshua Adler from Moses Membranes. Chris Bolin, Chill Baby. And Yu Lee from Moses.
Amazing power. Amazing power.
Audience, remember, when the clock reaches 0, you need to start clapping really hard. Yell as loud as you can. We have to keep these guys honest. They only get 60 seconds. Are you ready, finalists?
Are you lined up?
Audience, you ready? You know what to do? All right, let's start pitching.
Ready, set,
Pitch.
The Navy uses autonomous underwater vehicles, or AUVs, to map minefields, watch harbors, and monitor the oceans. Unfortunately, AUV batteries last only 3 days before they must be recharged, costing the Navy $50 million a year in expenses. We are developing an aluminum seawater generator that will power a submerged AUV for over 30 days. No other technology on the market offers this capability. Our generator is safe, compact, and works without oxygen.
We have a prototype of our patent-pending technology, and we need your support to develop more advanced prototypes and begin production. The Navy stands to save $10 billion a year by using our technology to replace expensive ships and divers with thousands of long-range underwater vehicles. Our technology will be a $100 million annual market and will save American taxpayers billions while helping the Navy to secure the world's oceans. Thank you.
Thank you. Judges, questions?
Ambitious mission. Why is your team qualified to take it on?
We are all MIT students who have been working very hard on this project for over a year, and we're very passionate about it. And we also feel that we are able to develop to this application.
How do you get to $11 billion of savings with only $100 million annual revenue?
Sure. So the reason why the Navy would save so much with these underwater vehicles is because ships cost so much to operate and to build, while vehicles are so much cheaper to build and operate. Thank you.
Chill Baby, Chris Bolin.
Did you know that children go through 7 different sizes of clothing before their 2nd birthday? They actually grow out of their clothing as often as every 3 months, making clothing shopping expensive and time-consuming for busy parents. Introducing Chill Baby. Chill Baby is the Netflix for baby clothes. That's right. Chill Baby is a subscription service that provides parents with a curated selection of clothing specifically catered to their child's age, the season, and the parent's sense of style. Parents can keep each package as long as they want, and they can return as often as they like. We interviewed over 150 parents and found that 60% said they'd be likely to purchase this service. More recently, our business plan won Harvard Business School's MVP award to fund a beta trial and see if we can disrupt this $30 billion industry. Chill Baby, it's the smarter way to dress your children.
Questions?
I'll take it, yeah. Sure.
I mean, why you guys and no one else? Why would someone come and buy from you, Chill Baby, rather than somebody else, just Amazon or wherever people buy baby clothes? I have no freaking idea.
Great question. So this is actually not a children's clothing retailer. What we're doing is actually is effectively renting the clothes. So what we're doing is we're offering a service where we're spreading the cost of each piece of clothing across multiple customers, thus lowering the cost for everybody. So Chill Baby saves parents time, saves them money, and closet space by allowing them to have fewer clothes building up in their closet.
Josh Adler representing Moses Membranes. Ready, set, pitch.
Go down, Moses, let my people go. What was Moses famous for? Parting the waters of the Red Sea, bringing fresh water from a rock in the desert, turning salty water sweet. At Moses Membranes, we're making these miracles happen with nanotechnology. We're developing a 2-dimensional layer of carbon atoms with holes just large enough for water molecules, but too small for salt and other contaminants. It's called nanoporous graphene, and our MIT material science research says our nanoporous graphene membrane, proprietary, should be able to produce 10 times as much ultra-pure water as the best reverse osmosis membranes today with the same energy. That's like building 10 new desalinization plants just by swapping out the filters. And water is a $500 billion a year business. Moses Membranes, parting the water.
How much power does it take compared to reverse osmosis in terms of efficiency?
At the same level of power, there's 10 times more flux or permeate through the same amount of membrane.
And dissolved solids?
We don't know what the relative yield is yet, but we expect it to be at least as good.
And any fouling?
We expect that because of the nature of graphene, it should be more fouling resistant than existing polymer membranes.
Cost?
We don't know that yet, but it's actually a very small part of the cartridge cost is the membrane itself.
And finally, representing Group She, here's Yu Lee. Ready, set.
Picture this, living in a huge metropolitan area. After work, you wait at a taxi station, but there are 30 people ahead of you. After spending all the endeavor of waiting in taxi, finally there is a taxi coming for you, but 30 minutes pass. You tell the driver where you're going to, he refuses because the trip is too short. Exactly this is what's going on in the major city of China. We're Group C, a taxi sharing service operates in China to tackle in this problem. Passenger first send out the real-time request. Our server will group nearby passengers and then send out an optimized route to Group C tablet in taxi. The driver would deliver each customer and receive fares through mobile payment system or product incentivized market with the lower spending and higher earning for taxi earning. And our core team consists of city planner, programmer, and a taxi industry.
Nice job, guys.
How do you get the taxi drivers and control the quality?
Control the quality?
Quality of the taxi.
Yeah, we're going to have set a few rules of a penalty and incentives. For example, a taxi driver will not be there or a passenger is not there. They're already like Zip card, you reserve your seat, so you have to pay for it if even you are not there. And taxi driver will have lower earning or no earning when they're not there. And also we got rating system, sorry.
How do you get enough people using it?
We're promoting at a high population density in Beijing and Shanghai.
Thank you, round one superhero contestants. Let's give it up for the products and services and energy tracks.
All right, audience, it's that time. Get out your cell phones for the first round of audience voting. Remember, the top team from each rounds of audience voting will be put into the final audience poll at the end of the evening, and only one team can win the $2,000 Audience Choice Award. Contestants? You have 1 minute to vote.
The winner of the Audience Choice Round 1 is Moses Membranes.
It's exciting, right? Okay. Remember, don't get too excited. You haven't won yet. And now we'd like to recognize some of our gold sponsors. Edwards Wildman, Wilmer Hale, Wolf Greenfield, Mintz Levin,
BCG, Polaris Ventures, Folly Hogue, and Goodwin Procter.
Gentlemen, you can take a seat. Thank you. So, who's sick of hearing us talk for now? Switch it up a little? What do you think?
Oh,
Let's get
I
you
see
some other
someone over
entertainment.
there.
Captain, I came as quick as I could. What's the emergency?
Well, first, we've got 3 problems. You're too short. You beat me in the contest. And you didn't salute me.
Oh, sorry.
Much better, Spidey. Spidey, I'm glad you're here. I've got a problem. My tubes are clogged.
What?
My tubes, they're full. And now they won't empty.
Have you tried a high-fiber diet?
No, my internet's, it's broken. They're broken. I can't get to the Google. I want to look at pictures of my grandkids on the Facebooks. I need to Twitter my workout schedule.
Dude, you're kidding, right?
No, I'm not kidding. And not only that, I keep getting advertisements for Cialis. Only Dr. Doom could come up with such a nefarious plot.
All right, let me take a look. Oh, dude, you have a virus.
No, I don't. I'm a super soldier. I'm immune to all forms of disease.
No, dude, your computer. It's a virus. Are you using America Online?
It's the safest, of course. How else would I connect to the World Wide Webs?
When did I get relegated to IT?
Wait, Spider-Man. Come quick. A foreign dignitary wants my help moving $500 million. He even knows my grandmother. What's the Avengers account number?
All right, so we have Web IT track represented by Spider-Man, obviously.
While Spider-Man's answer to the question, can he swing from a web, makes him the obvious choice to represent Web IT, the character represents more than just the results of one wicked spider bite.
Peter Parker, the alter ego of Spider-Man, represents the spirit of youth. The young tech-savvy New York native is just as likely to be writing a review on Yelp as he is to be kicking Sandman in the face.
While testing a gamma bomb, brilliant scientist Bruce Banner risks his only life to save a teenager. The cost was receiving a large amount of gamma radiation himself, which mutates him at a cellular level and turns him into a jolly green giant of sorts, with a heart of gold, temper of dynamite, and a real propensity for smashing.
That's why we have Hulk for the life sciences track. But then also in the science of superheroes, the authors point out that the levels of gamma radiation would actually likely induce radiation sickness and kill Bruce. So better get your facts straight there. They suggest a more likely origin would be biological experimentation with the adrenal glands and green fluorescent protein. Stronger than armor, gadgets, or aliens that receive strength from the rays of the yellow sun, the Hulk demonstrates our fascination with the living organism and its infinite potential.
Pretty sure you Googled that.
That's my only superpower,
That
really.
certainly didn't come from your head. And now, our superhero contestants for Web IT and Life Sciences. Again, when you hear your names called, come down to the front.
Please welcome the MIT 100K Pitch Contest finalists for the Web IT Well, first, let's give a shout out to those superheroes. And now, for the super duper heroes of the finalists.
Come on down, Web IT and Life Sciences.
We have Danny Ben David from Course Road. Danny Ben David from Course Road. Andrea Schlarb from Smart Farming. Peter Sellis with Mouse House. And Ellen Yuyi Chen from Catheter-Based Inventions.
Come on down, guys. Await your impending doom.
Actually, the superheroes here have been doing just fine. But for the audience, I think we should really rely on your superpowers when we say ready, set, pitch. Because actually, we want you to support us. So maybe, while we find the fourth contestant,
give us a little
we can just practice this maybe one time.
You should know the drill already. We've done it 4 times, but...
Shall we? So when I say ready, set, we say pitch. When she says
ready, set,
we say pitch. Oh, come on.
Can we try this a couple times?
That was terrible.
That was bad.
Where are your superpowers?
All right, let's give it a shot. Go ahead.
Ready, set, pitch. Much better. Thank you. So, do we have here one extremely lucky gentleman? Do we have Sasha Bome from CrowdFX? Woo! All right. We still start with Andreas Schlarb from Smart Farming. Oh, no. Obviously, we start with you.
You guys, it's still a win.
Sasha. All right.
Ready, set,
pitch.
So banks charge up to 5% for currency exchange and international money transfer, with funds taking up to 3 or more days to arrive. CrowdFX can solve this problem, cutting costs by 80% and a one-day transfer. How? Crowdsourcing. The best place for you to get euros for your next trip to Berlin is not your bank. It's your friend in Germany. So you swap your dollars with his euros, and there's at the mid-market rate, and there's no currency transaction and no money crossing borders. Now, if you don't have such a friend, you send your dollars to CrowdFX, and we'll deposit the euros for you in Germany, which we sourced from other Europeans who are coming to the US. The benefits are cheaper and faster transfer, and here's the kicker. The smaller your amount, the higher your percentage savings, because we only charge 1% on every transaction, no minimum fees. I worked in banking and IT for 13 years. I know how we can get our money back. CrowdFX, join the revolution.
How do you get around the regulations on or registering as a exchange?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we'll be a payments institution, not a deposit-taking bank. So of course we'll have to do our Know Your Customer regulation. And here in the US, you have to have a license in every of the 50 states. In Europe, it's a very different game. So that's definitely something we have to do. Sure, that's a lot of lawyer time.
How do you make this as easy to use as my Capital One card that has perceived no transaction fee?
Well, so are you referring to the ease of use or the money, savings of money? It's basically you log on. Sorry.
Next up, we have catheter-based interventions, Ellen Yuan Chen. Ready, set,
pitch.
Every year, doctors in the U.S. perform more than 1 million arterial catheter-based interventions. This allows them to non-invasively perform treatments that would otherwise require invasive surgery. which sounds great, but except all these procedures require a tricky and time-consuming initial step to get into the central blood vessels from which you access the rest of the body. So we have an improved catheter design that will speed up and simplify this process, and that will mean less complication for patients, and at the same time, it's savings of $1,000 per procedure for the hospitals. So this could potentially save hospitals $1 billion per year just in the U.S. We're a team consisting of a doctor at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and 2 graduate students in biomedical engineering at MIT.
Could you tell me how it speeds up the process?
Yes. Oh, sure.
Thanks.
Yeah. So right now, the problem is that if you when you do interventional radiology procedures, you have to get into the major branches of the aorta, and but the access point is the femoral artery. So when you go up there, it's straight, but when you get into the aorta, you have to curve your catheter. And the current solution is to bend it over the aortic arch. It's when the aorta splits into the two complex. So there's a little artery, and doctors use that as like a curving thing. It's not the most elegant thing to do.
Thank you. Next up is Danny Ben David from Course Road. Ready, set, pitch!
If you've ever been an undergraduate, you know just how difficult 4-year planning can be. Between classes you want to take, classes you have to take, and your major requirements, 4-year planning is difficult and time-consuming. Meanwhile, colleges are trying to make sure you graduate on time because statistics like percentage of 4-year graduates directly impact their college rankings. So what's everyone to do? Thankfully, now there's Course Road. Course Road is a 4-year online academic planner for undergraduates. Students can add their classes and get instant feedback on all of their requirements. Since I launched the site as a college freshman here at MIT last April, we've had an explosive amount of growth here, approaching a 50% undergraduate adoption rate. The plan is to market Course Road directly to universities themselves as a subscription service. We've already pinged a few places and discovered an immense unfulfilled demand for this kind of product. Course Road, because students should spend their time doing what they love, not trying to figure out how to get there. Thank you.
So selling into academic institutions isn't the easiest thing to do, and obviously they're not the most efficient channel partners to deal with. How exactly are you going to sell into these distribution channels?
Well, 2 strategies right now. One is gain student support. There's already quite a bit of that brewing in a few different locations. The other is head towards the IT departments themselves, who have been receiving complaints. There's at least one college where they've been begging their IT department to build this kind of thing for a while now, and they get through them as well. And then from both sides, I think administration will be willing to accept it.
So it's really useful. You're a smart guy, but why this versus something else?
Because when I'm not sure what courses I...
And finally, we have Mouse House, pitched by Peter Sellis. Ready, set,
pitch!
Hi, I'm Peter from Mouse House. Mouse House is a tablet-based application that helps animal lab researchers better manage their mice colonies. Now, I know what you're all thinking here, but mice colonies are no small problem. In the United States, we spend almost $5 billion each year managing over 100 million mice. It costs about $30 a pop to buy one of these guys, and it costs almost $80 a year sometimes to house them. What Mouse House does is through our tablet-oriented drag-and-drop interface, as well as algorithms, we help reduce colonies by 15% in early beta users. Now, on a more serious note, mice have been living beyond their means for multiple years now. I hope you will all help me, support me, and help me take care of this problem. Thank you.
What are people using now to manage, and why is this better?
There are two things that have very high market penetration. The small software suite called Microsoft Excel and just mad lab notebooks, basically.
How will you acquire your customers?
Basically, you can usually acquire them through a demo, and so we're actually, we have multiple MDs on as beta testers, and then kind of spread that throughout the institution. Usually multiple labs are part of one big institution. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, round 2 superhero contestants. Let's give it up for the Web IT and Life Sciences tracks. You can sit.
Audience, it's that time again. Time to get out your cell phones for the first round of audience voting. Remember, the top team from each of the rounds will be put into the final audience poll at the end of the night, and only one team can win the $2,000 Audience Choice Award. Contestants, please hold up those signs. Yes. And audience, please text your vote to 22333. We have 1 minute.
The winner for the second round, audience choice, is Forest Road. One quick thing before we continue. Those of you over there sitting in the aisle, it's your lucky day. We have free seats. Why don't you come down here? Come on. The floor's got to be hard. You were just upgraded. Awesome.
We would now like to recognize some of our gold sponsors: Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, Reliance Technology, KPMG, Highland Capital Partners,
Northbridge Partners, Faber Defor Isradio Cabot, SpaceX, and Thomson Reuters.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. I forget the rest.
How fitting. Next up, we have the Emerging Markets track, represented by Superman. It's the classic story. Boy meets girl, boy and girl have a baby, boy and girl shoot baby off in a spaceship to save it from their exploding planet. Baby grows up and inherits superhuman abilities from the Earth's yellow sun.
I've heard that one. Superman has earned the title of world's greatest superhero. While he isn't one of us, he lives for the express purpose of making our lives better. Our emerging market groups are taking that ideal and applying it to projects around the world to help improve the human condition.
Next up, we have the mobile track, represented by the Flash, or Sheldon?
When it comes to speed, nothing says fast like the Flash. Capable of beating even Superman in a foot race, the Flash can travel the speed of light.
I bet his mortal enemies are potholes and shoelaces.
And discarded gum, I'd imagine.
Regardless, Flash can't hold a candle to these next groups, mobile, which is bringing the world to you at the speed of typing with your thumbs. Let's give a round of applause to our semi-finalists in the mobile track.
I think we got a little bit ahead of ourselves, guys. Totally took the wind out of my sails. We didn't even get to announce them. However, here are your top 4. I know, right? Totally ruined the gratification.
Well, I don't know. I will step up and, be a superhero and announce Manoa Coletti from Blue Light, Sebastian Gomez Busetta, and Jordan Ledvina from Physics Education Games, and Andrea Colaco from 3DIM. First up, we have Manoa, representing Blue Light. All right. Ready, set,
is a seamstress in Medellin. She wants to buy a stove, but she can't afford it. So she can either take out an informal consumer loan, which is easy, but incredibly expensive, with interest rates of up to 200%. Or she can try to save to make that same purchase, which is smart, but very difficult for somebody like Rosa, who has a volatile income stream. Blue Light makes that smart decision much easier. Blue Light is a micro layaway platform enabling people like Rosa to make the large purchases they need using the SMS backbone that's common to all mobile devices. And what makes Blue Light special is our proprietary routing and management technology. This is awesome. It's currently being developed by my teammate, who's an MIT EECS PhD. And what it does is it allows Blue Light to simultaneously manage millions of users while providing white label services to thousands of businesses. Blue Light is launching in Colombia, a country of 50 million people with less than 10% credit card penetration. Just as M-Pesa revolutionized banking in Kenya, Blue Light will revolutionize commerce beginning in Colombia.
How can you afford to charge such lower interest rates?
So we give the carry on all of the upfront payments directly to the retailers with whom we partner, and they pay us a licensing fee. So we don't bear any of that risk.
How do you acquire your customers?
We are in the process of beginning a pilot test right now in Medellin, and once that pilot test is completed, we plan on initially partnering with Carrefour.
And with such low revenue per customer, how do you get enough to make the business work?
The problem is that they have no access to these customers right now, so this is growing the pie.
Next up, Jordan Ledvina, representing Physics Education Games. Ready, set,
pitch.
I haven't been watching the presidential debates, but if I had, I would have seen both President Obama and Mitt Romney calling for initiatives to jumpstart education in the basic sciences, to deal with the dearth of scientists and engineers in today's job market, which is a puzzle given the plethora of resources already available. So then what is the problem? We got our kids hooked on phonics instead of physics. I know I'm talking to the choir here at MIT, but outside these walls, physics is a very bitter pill for the 7.5 million students taking a basic physics class every year. We're changing that. We're making fun, addicting, and downright educational physics games. Teachers use them in the classrooms, students put them on their smartphones to do extra credit, to get more practice, to have fun. Our first game, the Super Ultimate Graphing Challenge, has gone viral in classrooms around the world, and our second game is going to be even better. I'm asking you to join us in inspiring a generation with physics and educating America's future engineers and scientists. Thanks.
Do you have a background in education or anyone on the team?
Yes, actually my founding partner has a master's in physics education. We both have BAs in physics. He is the #1 ranked teacher in the state of New Jersey for physics, and he's one of the robotics team for the last 2 years running.
How do you expect to make a business out of this?
The mobile apps are going to be bought by the student customers, and the teachers will also pay in for additional features for the web-based use.
Thank you. Next up, we have Sebastian Gomez representing Buseta.
Ready, set,
pitch.
Contrary to the US, the majority of people in Latin America travel by bus. Yet, purchasing a ticket is a nightmare. Let me explain how this works in Bogota, Colombia, for example. First, you have to travel to the bus station in a traffic jam city. Then, you have to stand in a never-ending line to purchase your ticket, and finally, wait for the bus to leave. By this time, you have already spent 3 hours, and you still don't know if you have a guaranteed spot in that bus. This is a $2 billion market for which there has to be a better solution. My name is Sebastian, and I'm developing Buseta, a bus travel aggregator, where you're able to purchase, check your schedules, and then reserve spots online or on the mobile. The major milestones for this project is to establish partnerships with all the bus lines and to develop the technical platform. I'm looking for $50,000 in order to make bus travel easy.
So with all the different challenges, why is developing a ticketing solution the right answer instead of developing a bus company?
No, right now, there are multiple bus companies in every country in South America. And what we're looking to do is to aggregate them, provide a platform for payments, and basically charge a commission for each transaction that is made on our platform.
Any other questions, judges?
Do you think it's going to cost a lot of money to change something that is so offline into something more online?
Right now, the majority of the people...
And finally, we have Andrea Quilaco representing 3DEM. Ready, set,
pitch. I want to tell you about our new product, 3DEM, which is a mobile 3D camera. Microsoft's Kinect showed us how much people enjoy using gestures in games and other applications. We want to bring that capability to your mobile device. Now, this is a hard problem. Others like Microsoft, Apple, Samsung are trying to bring 3D capture to this 10.2 billion unit portable device market. But we are there. Our solution uses our patent-pending signal processing technology that for the first time exploits the compressibility of 3D signals. Our team of 3 PhD students and an MIT professor have already developed a 3D camera prototype that achieves sub-centimeter depth resolution, cutting the power and size at least 100 times compared with a Kinect. The product could be sold as an add-on, but we're also talking with Qualcomm. With your help, we want to bring 3DEM, the freedom to gesture, to your phone, tablet, or even your smart glasses. Thank you.
With such powerful technology, why is a consumer app the right go-to-market and not something else like security or education or government or corporate?
So gestures are only the tip of the iceberg of possibilities. 3D cameras are the new 2D cameras. They can possibly do everything the 2D cameras can do and better. We're targeting all kinds of applications. We're open to being a components provider. We can go for applications in navigation, biometrics, and all things like that. It's the precision that matters. Yeah, sure.
Do you need an IR emitter?
Yes. An LED, so it's eye safe and things like that.
Okay.
What makes the user experience special?
So you're introducing a new paradigm of interaction. So you no longer have to touch your screens and occlude your small, tiny display.
Thank you. Round 3 superhero contestants. Let's give it up for emerging markets and mobile. Judges, can you please kindly follow the ushers out of the room for audience polling? Are we leaving? We're getting out, right? Sorry, guys. They have a big job to do. They need plenty of time to do it.
Also, we don't want to... Round of applause for our judges.
Obviously a surprise to them.
Also, we don't want to influence them because it's that time again.
Get out your cell phones.
For the final round of audience voting.
Got your signs? Alrighty. You know how this works by now, yes?
Any questions?
Remember, the top team from each of the rounds will be put into the final audience poll at the end of the night, and only one team can win the $2,000 Audience Choice Award. Hold up your signs.
Please text your vote to 22333. You have 40 seconds left.
Does anybody get cell phone service in here? Because I don't. Though I have no pockets.
Wait, how about that belt?
This utility belt gives me one pocket. I can barely fit a clicker in here. My cell phone is just not going to happen.
I guess nail polish is more important to you.
How do you carry around your money? All right. The winner of the Audience Choice Round 3 is...
Freedom!
Remember, you haven't won yet, but enjoy it now.
Thank you, guys. And now, let's welcome on stage the managing directors of the MIT 100K competition.
Alice
Francis.
Yeah, so after tonight, we have 2 more contests throughout the academic year, and we want you to get really, really excited for them. Last year, well, you guys know that the MIT 100K has been around for, 23 years now. Big history, a lot of famous, awesome companies that have come out of the 100K. And last year was a particularly big year for the 100K because we made a lot of changes to the competition. Our predecessors, John, who's sitting over there, and Kurosh, did a great job of thinking of what the MIT campus needs in a contest and said, our people on this campus are engineers. They came here to build things, they like to tinker with things, and they want to build engineering products and other types of things. So they built the Accelerate contest, which is about building prototypes and products, and that's over the Here's Adam, yay!
Adam Borelli, managing director of the MIT 100K competition.
So the contest that happens in the winter now is called the Accelerate. It's a mini accelerator, and we'll have our 2 contest directors talk more about that in a little bit. It uses MIT's IAP period to help facilitate the process and create a competition around that process. And then when Adam and I took over, took the reins in January, we thought, that was a really great direction to go in. And the business plan contest, which is the contest that's been around for so many years, has been really great in helping different students at MIT launch their companies. But we found that more and more of them were actually starting their companies instead of writing a business plan. So we decided to actually challenge them in the things that they were actually doing. So we changed the contest to be more oriented towards launching your company rather than just writing a business plan. So Adam's going to talk a little bit more about that. And then we have a couple other interesting announcements for you as well.
So as Alice mentioned, so as Alice mentioned, when we want to build on the great success that John and Kurosh really set for the 100K, And we want to start by actually doubling the size of the contest for the business plan contest, going from 25 to 50 teams. And last year, we had 50 amazing teams compete throughout the business plan contest. But beyond that, we decided let's add 3 main components that really help people start companies. So number 1, we added getting real customer feedback. So what did people do? Well, as part of the contest, they had to actually interview potential customers. That gave them direct feedback from the market so that they could make sure that they were addressing the problem the right way. Teams made dramatic improvements as a result of this feedback. Secondly, we require that teams actually establish team agreements. We brought in Noam Wasserman from Harvard Business School who talked about sort of the founder's dilemma. That's the name of his book. And what he found is that more and more companies are actually not succeeding, not because people aren't smart, not because technology is not good, but because there are founders' issues, that people don't agree on the direction of the company, that they don't have the same viewpoint of where they should go. And so we decided this should be a part of the contest, that our teams should be really better destined for success. And so we incorporated this in the contest. And the third thing we did was we said, companies, as Raheem said, are not about having necessarily the best product. It's about getting stuff done, GSD. Getting stuff done. So teams were required to set 3 goals, one of which was interviewing prospective customers. And the judges were able to see which teams actually could execute the best. So it gave them direct feedback, more than a business plan, more than a slide deck, more than an amazing pitch about who can actually GSD. So those are the changes we made. Really excited about them. Saw some great feedback from the teams. And we're excited to talk to you about some exciting additions as well.
So everyone that comes and shows up to these events, I'm sure, has their favorite team. And there are so many great teams that come through the 100K, and you should go and check out our website if you want to see the full list of teams that have been in the contest in the past couple years and our Hall of Fame. But we wanted to kind of highlight a couple of teams that did really well last year and kind of give you an update and provide some teams to watch going forward. FilePicker.io is the winner of the 100K last year. They won $115,000 from us, an undergrad team, so that's really exciting. They were in Y Combinator, and just recently, TechCrunch and VentureBeat named them top 10 companies to watch, which is really exciting. So definitely check them out. Podometrics, John Bloom is sitting right there, won the pitch contest last year. Audience choice last year and is doing quite well. So go talk to him about how to start a company and GSD. We Cyclers is a team that participated as finalists in our Accelerate contest and semifinalists in our launch contest last year. They are doing so well. They were selected to be one of the teams that participated in the MIT Founders Skills Accelerator, the accelerator that's run over the summer out of the Trust Center. And they're out in Nigeria right now running their company and encouraging that community to start recycling in ways that they haven't been before, and it's really inspiring. Liquid Glide, kind of stole the show. Audience choice for the 100K last year. I'm sure you saw their video with the ketchup and mayonnaise, and media darling, over 200 media hits. It's kind of insane. And they're finalists in Mass Challenge. They're presenting tomorrow, so everyone send out good vibes. They spent their summer working on refining their product, and they actually demonstrated that their product can work for hair gel, which is one of the densest and most immovable liquids out there. So it's really innovative and awesome, and they're great. But anyway, these are just some of the great teams that we have, and you should just keep supporting the 100K teams because they're our MIT awesome superheroes. So Adam's going to talk about one of our new exciting prizes.
So we're trying to find new great ways to support the teams. And we decided that we'd partner with the AARP Foundation to create a whole new prize to support low-income seniors who need help very bad. So what the prize focuses on is 4 main areas: income, hunger, housing, and isolation. the 4 biggest issues that affect poor seniors today. So, in partnership with the AARP Foundation, we'll be giving out $2,000 to a team in the Accelerate contest and $10,000 to a team in the Business Plan contest. In the Accelerate contest, a panel of judges will select 3 teams that will compete as semifinalists for that prize and get $1,000 to put towards their companies to help build companies that'll support low-income seniors. We're really excited to work with them. Definitely check out our website for more information. We'll be putting more information up there shortly about this new prize. But really excited about that. And thinking about Accelerate, we want to actually introduce you to 2 really important people, Brent Wu and Nick Rodachenko. So Brent and Nick, come on up. I want to introduce our new Accelerate directors to you. Brent and Nick are directing the Accelerate contest. They're going to tell you a little bit more about it.
Hey guys. Hey everybody, I'm Brent. I'm Nick. And we are the co-directors of the Accelerate contest. For those of you who do not know what the Accelerate contest is, it's an opportunity over IAP for contestants to develop a product or prototype through a mini accelerator through the January and December period. The MIT 100K offers support through an expense account and also through coaching and mentorship program opportunities. The prizes are, as mentioned, $10,000 for the winner, $2,000 for audience choice, and $2,000 for the AARP Foundation prize. Next slide. Perfect. So the deadlines, the application will be released November 7th with registration deadline on the 28th. All semifinalists will be announced December 5th, and the Accelerate period is between December and January, where the mini accelerator will take place. So we look forward to receiving your applications and seeing all your cool ideas in action. Cheers.
Hey, look, it's you.
All right, that's me up there. Well, shouldn't I actually want to deflect attention from me and onto
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just a second for you. You got all up in this costume. You are the director of the pitch contest. Can we just take a second and talk about how amazing Katja is? When they told her she was going to be emceeing this event, didn't ask, they told. And they asked her, "What would you like to wear?" And she put her full faith in the team and said, "I will wear whatever you want because I'm that dedicated to the cause." And this is what they came up with. I call that a win. You are down for the cause, my friend.
I think this is the perfect time to say that obviously my team really rocks. Because they came up with these 2 choices, and honestly, we have the perfect Black Widow there.
Couldn't do better.
One of us is the pretty one, so obviously I'll have to be the funny one. So can we please give a huge shout out to everyone on the team and all of the volunteers making this happen tonight.
I know this comes off so smoothly and seamlessly, but it actually does take a ton of people. Let's have a look.
Also,
this is my judging team. These people waited by their computers while I blasted emails out to them for the last 2 or 3 weeks, even though they were starting their programs, and they're wonderful. So to you guys, I'm sorry.
Next, the marketing team obviously did well because Brent will be heading Accelerate.
Events team, you guys are responsible for this.
Finally, our awesome web team, the 100k.org team. We want to make sure we boost our Google page rank, so please keep on tweeting, blogging, Facebooking.
Hey, we missed one.
Next, the
Sponsorship.
And
Extremely important.
Last but not least, the alumni team.
We have a lot of teams.
Also, we have a lot of judges because we need to manage the judges. So a huge shout out to judges for each round of the contest.
Huge.
We had 2 round 1s, 1 round 2, and the big finale tonight.
And the coaches who went through the pitches with all of these students before they got up here.
I hear they finally confirmed a Wonder Woman movie and a Justice League movie for 2015.
So what's your point?
Well, along with the final Batman movie, where I'm the integral character, strong women superheroes are finally getting portrayed in film. This is potentially huge for inspiring young women.
Hello? Iron Man 2 and the Avengers over here.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you were in those movies, but I mean, she's Wonder Woman, you know.
No, I don't know. Enlighten me.
Well, we are actual superheroes. I mean, superhero and supervillain.
And what am I?
Well, you really don't have any superpowers.
What do you mean I don't have superpowers?
Having a nice butt isn't a superpower.
I will have you know that I am a world-class athlete, gymnast, and acrobat. According to Wikipedia, my agility is greater than that of an Olympic gold medalist.
Come on. Wonder Woman can bench press a Buick, has a magic lasso, and has bulletproof bracelets.
Okay, so then, smart guy, where do you fit in? Can you talk to cats? Do you drive a Cadillac?
I can leap. Maybe I could help out Mouse House.
You have to be kidding me. You can leap.
Not to mention, I'm widely regarded as one of the most influential supervillains of all time. Before the Avengers movie, only the nerdiest of the nerds knew you even existed. I've been in 4 movies, not to mention I was the main character in one of them.
Catwoman, starring Halle Berry? You mean the one that got 4 Razzies, including Worst Actress and Worst Film? The film where you were killed and brought back to life by a cat. And as far as assets are concerned, seems to me that the volume of material in your outfits is inversely related to time.
Hey, that's not fair. I don't have any say in what my costumes look like. You think I like looking like dominatrix Barbie? Trust me, I could wear a pair of sweatpants and a hoodie to fit into MIT anytime, I would. Plus, you're one to talk. On the bright side, at least we're not Wonder Woman, you know? I mean, she's only protected by a corset and a pair of starred underwear. You must get terribly cold in the winter.
No, Superman wore underwear.
Yeah, over his pants.
Fair enough.
I think this fight is over.
Well then, it's time for our final audience winner voting. The winner of the audience poll, your remaining 3, will win $2,000. The leaders from each of the following rounds are Moses Membranes, Course Road, and 3Dem. You guys want to come down? Come on, guys. You're going to have to gratuitously fight for votes.
Please come down and
Bring
grab
down
a
those
number.
shiny smiles and win $2,000, yes? I think it's time to vote.
Contestants, smile and hold those numbers high up. Yes. Audience, one final time. Please text your winner to for the winner of the Audience Choice Award, presented by MIT 100K event team leads Rohit and Raiden, true superheroes of tonight.
Come on, guys.
We have Moses Membranes.
Moses Membranes
wins the Audience Choice Award. $2,000. Can do amazing things. So we have the second runner-up for the $1,000 prize presented by Superheroes.
Come on, you guys. When else are you going to get to hold a big check? Blue light.
They will get caped by Cap Numeric.
First runner-up, guys, $2,000 prize. The suspense is killing me. Moses Membrane. We have one more prize to give away.
By our keynote speaker, Raheem Fazal.
I think that'd be appropriate.
All right. Ready? Yeah. Ready? Yeah. 3 down!
After party at Mead Hall. All right, the next contest will start in a few weeks. Thank you for being here. Great job to all superheroes.
Thank you for wearing that outfit tonight.
Thanks, Heather.